the Hyperloop and the orbital are technically the same family of moves. What you do is you tangle, you do one or more rotations in the center, and you exit either on the same side, the other side, wherever. I'm specifically talking about the vertical overhand version of this. The Hyperloop is a single, maybe a couple. The orbital is pulling it tight. Same basic thing. If you want to ever learn the exit from the orbital, knowing the Hyperloop will help you because you'll be able to get out of the orbital easily, or more easily. Thus, we could start with the Hyperloop itself. The first thing I would say is you're working on in this space between the two sides. For some people, starting here on the side in split time and then catching one poi on the other one is a good way to start. Some people prefer to start where both poi are on their side plane and they cross one to the other side and hook it. And when you hook it, in the particular version that I'm doing, if you look at it, my right poi is hooking from underneath. My left poi is hooking from the top. They meet in the middle of the poi, and when that was an air wrap because I didn't slide it across my body. The air wrap stays on its own side. The Hyperloop goes across the body. If at point of impact, you start moving it across your body to the other side so that it'll exit by the time you've gotten out of it on the other side. You do not need a swivel for this one. And you're shooting for the center of both of the leashes. When you cross, whichever one you cross to the other side, the hand that crosses comes from underneath. And you want to shoot for hooking. Okay, you do a figure eight to cross, right? You figure eight, regular old figure eight. Yes, that. You don't cross the other hand. Okay, you just cross your right hand. If you're crossing your right hand to the left side, you leave the left hand where it is, cross the right hand underneath it, and then bring them both across the body. You hook the right one underneath the left poi as you bring it to the other side. Or if you're coming across with the left one, you hook it on the right side. Because what you did was you brought the poi over. It was on the outside of, when you brought your right poi over to the left side, you brought it on the outside of the left poi. So the left poi couldn't tangle with it. Then you left it there and you tried to get it in the right place so that you could hit it. You can completely do that. If you're going to do that, then I recommend the following. So I want you to do wall plane in front of you. Wall plane in front of you. Same direction, split time. Now, what you're going to do is take your right poi. It's still going to come from underneath. The left one is still going to come from the top. Hook them and turn 90 degrees. Just like you would if you're doing a pinwheel to a weave transition. So stand in your T stance such that as your left poi leash hits the right poi leash to form the tangle, you can rotate your body 90 degrees. Are you in a T stance or a V stance? Are you like this or are you like this? Like this or like this? Right, okay, I would call that a V stance. I want you in a T stance. What I mean by that is I want your right leg pointing this way. I want you to think about yourself like this and then rotate a little bit to your left. You're almost 45 degrees. You're going to take your poi and hook it, and as you hook it, you'll notice you're already partly turned. To work on the exit, what I did was I took one of my poi heads and I marked it. I think actually I might have been working with my pod poi, and what I did was I turned one on and I left the other one off. Any old marking will do. Maybe you could tape one of the flow lights so that you can have them be different, and that'll help you see the difference. Two different types of poi. I got a stick and I got a ball. Ooh, that is weird. Very weird. What it appears like to me is as you are in the tangle, the left one hooks on the right one. Okay, then you're like this. Then you start going around the turn. As the stick one, which is the right one, comes up toward your body, that is when you start initiating the push across so that you can exit and pull them apart this way on the right side. If you started out an overhand on the right side when you went into the tangle, even if you crossed it to the left side, you will still end in overhand with the right point on the right side. They both are in overhand the whole time if you look at it as a side plane move, which I do, even though I was having you enter as a wall plane move. You're in the tangle. All you do is you're now the mission is needing to figure out how to do the right number of rotations so that you can know when to pull and when to pull the arm across and pull them apart for the exit. Because you're trying to exit as, hold on, you're in here like this, you're coming around. You're trying to exit when you go back this way. You're trying to exit it. Oh my God, this is so hard to do in slow motion. When your right poi would pull under from the tangle, when the left poi is actually on top of it, because you pull your left one up and you pull your right one down, which makes sense. You brought it in from the bottom, you bring it out on the bottom. Okay, you have two different types of poi. This might be useful. Use one of each kind, and then yeah, so are mine. But I also have more experience and I know the move, so I'm not saying it'll necessarily work. It might not work. I'm just suggesting it. That will at least give you a visual cue, right? The one that's in your right hand, when it's coming toward your chest, that's when you pull it out to exit.